Hey guys, what's up? We are back for another review. This is WandaVision. Okay, now, like I said, I'm going to be doing two reviews for WandaVision. Um, Last week's episode and this week's episode. I was busy last week a lot of the times, and I explained it. My sister had my computer for school, so I just didn't have time for it. Today's Friday. You're getting two reviews of WandaVision. Now, I have to say this. This episode 5 and episode 6, back to back great episodes. I was so confused, watching the first two episodes. I was so confused. I'm like, what? I was so confused. I'm like, I don't understand how this is happening. But episode 3 picked up. And then episode 4 and episode 5 and episode 6 that just came out. Oh my gosh, I had to say, episode 5 and episode 6, back to back amazing episodes. Marvel, you did a good job. So, here it is. This is episode 5, okay? So, girl, we about, y'all, you just gotta take a deep breath. You just gotta, and then, just, because this episode was a lot. It was a lot, okay? Episode 6 was a lot, but this episode was a lot, okay? So, we open up the episode 5, Vision and Wanda, they're taking care of the babies. She just gave birth, um, well, she gave birth in episode 3. And she's just like, just crying. Babies are crying, of course, newborn babies are crying. They're trying to calm them down, but they can't, okay? Agnes comes, and Vision, he transforms into human Vision. um she wants to help take care of the baby. She's like, oh, let me just hold the babies, and everything like that. And then Vision was like, no, I think you need to wash your hands. He's kind of nervous, of course. Parents with newborn babies, they don't want people touching their babies. Make sure you wash your hands and everything like that. He's being so overly concerned that Agnes is like, should we like take it from the top? Wanda was like, what? And I said the same thing. I'm like, what did she say? So I rewinded, and she said, do you want me to take it back from the top? I'm like, is she reading a script or something? Like, what's going on? Vision was so confused. Vision was like, what is going on? Did you notice this, Wanda? Wanda was like, she's being, she's like, no, she's being oblivious. She's like, no, nothing was wrong. Agnes just wants to hold the babies. And Agnes, she's holding the babies and everything like that. But Vision was like, did you not see what I just saw? Wanda was like, no. And so the babies are quiet. They're like, what's going on? Turn around. The boys just automatically aged up to like 5 years old. Like, what? So I don't know. They're not shapeshifters. They're not that. They're not shapeshifters. There's something else to where, I don't know, they can like age themselves pretty fast. I don't know what that power is, but like they just aged themselves to like 5 years old. And it's like, what is going on? So I noticed this after watching episode 6 that came on this week. They're doing, and it's pretty obvious, they're doing like a tribute to like, or like a homage to say, to popular shows throughout the decade, right? So you had the 50s, which was like episode 2 and episode 1, episode 2 was like in the 50s. So like I Love Lucy, that was a popular show in the 50s. Then you have in the 60s, to where it's kind of like I Dream of Jeannie type, if y'all remember that show. Y'all remember it. But and then like not Mary Tyler Moore show. What was that show with Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke? Was it the Dick Van Dyke show? Let me Google it right quick, y'all. My computer's right here. Um, I'm pretty sure it was the Dick Van Dyke show with him and Mary Tyler Moore. Um, but in the 60s, episode 2 and episode 3 Yeah, the Dick Van Dyke Show. Yeah, Dick Van Dyke Show. So the 60s, they paid homage to I Dream of Jeannie and the Dick Van Dyke Show. Those were popular shows in the 60s. Um, then episode episode 4, I believe episode 4, they were in the 70s, and then episode 5, they're in the 80s. So I was seeing Full House trending when this episode aired, episode 5. I was seeing Full House trending. I'm like, why is Full House trending? Like, why? I thought they were doing like a reboot, another reboot, or something like that. And I clicked on it, and they were showing a picture of WandaVision, and they're like, oh, you know, Wanda's paying homage to Full House. So I'm like, okay, ignore spoilers. I looked at it again, and of course, you know, the intro to WandaVision, I'm like, that does not give me Full House vibes. I'm like, this gives me like Step by Step type of vibe. If y'all remember, if y'all my age or older, y'all remember Step by Step with Patrick Duffy and Suzanne Summers. I used to watch that show. But like Step by Step show, I'm like, no, that's not Step by Step. And then I'm like, what is that show with Alan Thicke? What was that show with Alan Thicke? I went on YouTube and I typed in Alan Thicke Growing Pains. That was the show that they were paying tribute to on episode 5 with the opening of the show, Growing Pains, not Full House. It was Growing Pains. I used to watch that show too. But yeah, and then the next week's episode, well, this week's episode 6, they paid tribute to Malcolm in the Middle, which was in the 90s. So they're paying homage to like different shows, different popular shows throughout the decade. So that's what I noticed. So Monica, we get to Monica. She's back in the real world. You know, she's back at base camp and she wakes up. And she's having flashbacks of her time in Westview, and then at the point to where Wanda blasted her back into the real world. And so the Agent Wong and Darcy, they're visiting her and they're saying, okay, there's a briefing in a couple of minutes. So the captain is basically giving a background, you know, talking about, well, Agent Wu. Agent Wu, is it Wu or Agent Wong? Is it Agent Wong? It's Agent Wu. Is Agent Wu. So Agent Wu, he's giving a background on Wanda and like her character, how, you know, her and her brother, Pedro, they were like orphaned because their parents got killed, and then the attack of Ultron happened, and then so she was once enemies of the Avengers, but she became an Avenger herself, and so the captain basically is saying that Wanda is a terrorist. That's what he's claiming to be. Monica was like, no, she's not a terrorist, but like she was under her mind control. Wanda is controlling everything. If you guys did not know by now, Wanda is in control of everything. Wanda created Westview. She basically created this world to where she's living this ideal life with her and Vision, because she cannot cope with the fact that Vision is dead. Okay, she can't get it through her head that he is dead because of what happened. And so the captain shows a video of Wanda breaking into Sword headquarters, getting Vision's dead body and resurrecting it. Wanda, you are so crazy. Like I can't. Wanda is crazy. She is crazy. Okay, if you guys don't know Vision, I'm giving y'all a little background on Vision. If you guys don't know who Vision is, or if you guys know, Vision was Jarvis. Jarvis was kind of like as Albert is to Batman. Okay, as Albert is to Batman, Jarvis was to Tony Stark. Okay, that was his AI. All right, he knew everything, all that stuff. Okay, when the Avengers, the Age of Ultron hit, Tony created those Ultrons, those robots, and then they just started taking over the world and creating chaos. So what happened was that Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, they created Vision using one of the robots from Ultron and Jarvis, database and everything created Vision. Okay, so Jarvis is Vision. Okay, so that is who Vision is. And then how he died, I had to go back and I'm like, how did Vision even die? Like, what happened? Okay, in Infinity Wars, Wanda and Vision are in Europe. I think they're in Scotland. They're going out on a date, and the Black Order stabs Vision, and he's hurt. Okay, and so they go to Wakanda, and Siri is trying to, patch them together, but he decides he wants to go out and fight, and he tells Wanda to just kill him, and Wanda doesn't want to do that. So Thanos, he needed the Mind Stone to snap everything, so he took the Mind Stone out of Vision, killing him. That is how Vision died. So back to the show, the captain shows the video of Wanda going into Sword headquarters, taking Vision's body, resurrecting it, and creating this show. And so okay. And so they're in this alternate reality. After the meeting, Darcy says, how is he going to feel knowing who he is? Vision. Because Vision doesn't know what's happening. Okay? So how is he going to handle the truth? We get to Westview, and the boys, they're in front of the sink, and Wanda comes in. She hears a dog. And she wants to keep the dog, but then they don't know how Vision's going to react. Vision comes in and he sees the dog. And so Agnes comes in as well. And she gives them like this doghouse and everything like that. And then Wanda, with Agnes right there, Agnes wasn't looking, Wanda creates a leash. And so Vision is kind of upset about that. And it's like, Wanda, what's going on? Like, we were on the same page about, like, being undercover and hiding our powers. But it's like, now you just don't care. Like, what's going on? And so Wanda compromises. And she was like, okay, boys, your dad and I decided that we're going to wait until you're 10 years old for you to have the dog. The boys age up to 10 years old. So it's like, what is going on? And so what I feel like with the boys is that, I guess, like, when something bad happens to them, they just automatically age up so they won't forget about what happened. That's what I feel like happens with the boys when they age up. But the boys are 10 years old now. Okay, so back at camp, Wanda was like, we need this, 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 and this, and this, and we need it on wheels. Basically making it Wanda proof so Wanda won't destroy it. Okay, so she wants to go back into Westview. And they talk about how Wanda could have destroyed Thanos. I'm like, hold up. Okay, yes, Wanda could have killed Thanos, well, destroyed Thanos. Captain Marvel could have destroyed Thanos, and Captain Marvel is like the powerful, like, superhero. When they said Captain Marvel, Monica had this look of disgust on her face, like, moving on. And Agent Wu and Darcy caught that. But going to Infinity Wars, they were very close to destroying Thanos. They were pretty close to taking the glove away from Thanos. Okay, but Star-Lord was all up in his feelings and messed up everything, causing everybody to go into the blip. I still blame Star-Lord for what happened. Quote me if I'm wrong. Argue with your mama. Star-Lord messed up the whole thing. He messed up the whole thing. Okay, so Monica goes to find her clothes that she had when she was in Westview. So she finds her clothes, and then she shoots at her pants. She was wearing a bulletproof vest the whole time. And so, what does that say? So basically, Wanda is rewriting reality. And so Monica is like, we need to do something that doesn't require change. Now, I feel like an Avenger, I'm sorry, on my fingers in a way. I feel like another Avenger is going to pop up either in the next episode, episode 7, or episode 8. I feel like Doctor Strange might pop up because Doctor Strange is in charge of the Time Stone. Wanda is basically rewriting history. She's rewriting time and alternating stuff. I think that Doctor Strange might come into WandaVision soon in these episodes. Maybe I'm jumping ahead, but I feel like Doctor Strange is gonna come and check Wanda because she's messing up stuff, basically. Um, Make sure my finger's not in the way. So, back in Westview, Vision is at work, okay? And, he's working with his coworker, Norm. So now they have the computer and everything like that. They have email. They get an email. Like I said, this is in the 80s. They get an email, okay? And the email says, and I typed it up, it says, Dr. Darcy Lewis, finding regards of Maximoff anomaly. High levels of radiation present at perimeter. Effect on Westview residents unknown. Please advise. So while Vision is reading the email, everyone in the office is reading it out loud. Okay, so everyone in the office is reading this out loud as he's looking around like, what is going on? So Norm is like, man, this is ridiculous. Like, what do you think it means? Vision touches Norm's head and it snaps Norm into reality. And Norm is like freaking out. He's like, where am I? Where's my sister? I need to call my dad. He's not doing well. And Vision's trying to calm him down. And Norm is like, help me. I need help. Like, please help me. She's in control of everything. She's this, she's that. She's taking over my mind. And Vision touches his brain, touches his head, and snaps him back into reality. And Norm is acting like nothing happened. So that is like freaking Vision out. Like, what is going on? Okay. And so, what does this say? All right. So, back at home, the boys, they're training Sparky. Okay. Fetch, roll over, lay down, all this stuff. And so they want to show Vision. Wanda was like, well, your dad's at work. The boys are like, well, it's Saturday. She was like, no, it's Monday. They were like, no, it's Saturday morning. And Wanda was like, oh, your dad just had to go back into work and everything like that. And so the boys was like, does dad not like us or whatever? Like, does he need a break from us? And she was like, no, sometimes your dad and I just need to take a break or whatever. And so they see the dog. The dog is freaking out. Wanda's like, what's going on? She was like, stay here. She tells the boys to stay there. So she goes to the door and she opens it. Then we see, what does it say? Okay, so we can't see what Wanda is seeing because she's in charge of everything. She's in charge of like the jump cuts, what people can see and cannot see. So we get back into base camp outside of Westview, and Monica has like this drone, and she sees Wanda, and she's telling Wanda, it's me, Monica Rambeau. Not here to hurt you, just want to talk, okay? Wanda's looking at the drone and her eyes turn red. And so the captain tells whoever to like launch, like attack or whatever, to shoot Wanda. And all of a sudden the drone just like crashes. Monica's like, why would you do that? Like, the drone isn't armed. Like, what are you doing? And so they get a alert and everybody's going outside. Everybody has their guns. They're in front of the shield, and the shield starts changing colors. Wanda walks out with that drone, and basically Wanda said, leave her alone. Leave her and her family alone. Okay? And Monica was like, what do you need from us? What do you need? Wanda was like, I have everything. Just leave me alone. Wanda, you're just not making this good for yourself. You're not making it good for yourself. You're not. I am just like, oh my gosh. Like, Wanda, you're in denial. Oh my gosh. She has not grieved. She never grieved Vision's death. And she's creating this world. And it's just like, it's just so crazy. And so, back in Westview, the boys find Sparky. He was in a bush. Agnes actually found him. And I guess he ate some of her leaves and he died. And so the boys tells Wanda, Mom, you can fix him. You can bring him back to life. Agnes was like, you can do that? And so Wanda told the boys, no, don't do it. They were going to age up. Okay? And so Vision sees them and he sees Sparky, and, of course, they feel bad. Now, this is where the episode just this is the part of the episode that I was just like, Wanda, just wow. Okay, so Vision just gets straight to the point. Okay, he gets straight to the point. He's like, Wanda, I spoke to Norm and he wasn't himself. Okay, he was in pain. What is going on? Wanda is trying to change the subject, and so when she was trying to change the subject, the credits were rolling. So basically, she's in control of when the show starts and when the show ends. She was trying to end the show. Vision was like, no, that's not going to happen. Vision yelled at Wanda and he said, you're not going to control me like you control them. They're both yelling at each other. They're both flying up. They both face to face with each other. And they're just all up in each other's face. And Wanda was like, oh my gosh. It was just so crazy. And so it's like Vision tells her that Norm has a family, and Wanda was like, what can I do? Like, what do you need me to do? And Vision was like, why are you doing all this? Like, why are you doing this? She's like, I'm doing this for you. And then Vision ask her, like, what is outside of Westview? He's like, I don't see any kids. I don't see nothing here. What is going on, Wanda? And so he tells her what she's doing is wrong. Of course what she's doing is wrong. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. What she's doing is wrong. She is mind controlling people to this fake city to live in just for her and Vision. It's like she's hurting people, basically. She has them under this mind control spell. She's not doing this for good. It's sad. It's really sad. And so there's the doorbell rings and she opens it and she has like this shocked look on her face. We get to Darcy and Darcy says, did they recast Pedro? Did they recast him? Cut back, there's Evan Peters as Quicksilver, not Aaron Taylor Johnson, who originally played Quicksilver in the Age of Ultron. So it's like Wanda recasted him or something. She must have done something, but like, what is going on? That's not Quicksilver that was in the Age of Ultron, because y'all do remember he got killed in Ultron. And so that was the end of the episode. Episode 6, which y'all gonna see right after this, a mess. A mess. Wanda, you're delusional and you're crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay? Y'all, episode 6 is gonna be upset. Okay? I'll see you guys. Peace. Love.